This is a disclaimer. This podcast features 4 professional idiots who share their insights and anecdotes. This podcast is intended for entertainment purposes only. This podcast represents the opinions of the guests and should not be taken as medical, legal, or professional advice.
Hello.
Jesus, you look like a proper engineer.
but like the train kind, right?
Yeah, sure.
The girl one is currently at doggy daycare, so it's quiet in the house. There's not insanity. The cat's happy.
I can't. I wish that I knew what that was like. Nope. Nicole and Ronan are downstairs, so we might have some guest appearances. I guess I should give context to the listeners. Bengineer has a beard down to his chest and kind of scraggly, fresh, wetted, scruffy hair out the shower. It looks like down to his like eyebrows.
That hasn't had a haircut in 4 months.
That's how engineers should look. That's when you know an engineer is employed. Is they no longer like
give a shit.
Clean cut in a suit. Well, looking very prim and proper. It's just like he's got a metalhead T-shirt on, and at least you look like you showered. I guess I shouldn't go into you don't look dirty. You just look like you don't give a fuck.
I have a shirt that I've worn into work. That is a space shirt. That literally says on it, "Visibly loose nuts." It's an SLS reference when they had to send the red team. I think that's what it's called. Literally the giant rocket full of explosive fuel. They sent dudes under it, and when they were done, they noted that there were visibly loose nuts that they tightened.
Like by hand. Hold on, I got it.
Put a wrench in there. But yeah. How about you? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm just tired. I'm always tired. I actually slept in today, so I don't have an excuse. I feel like I'm tired because I overslept.
Oh,
Patrick!
I also know how the I'm tired is. Luna's kind of going through her phases of we still have to wake up in the middle of the night to let her out.
Oh, gotcha. Is this your cat?
No, dog.
Oh, dog, that's right. To let her out. I don't know why I was like, wait, let the baby out. Oh, you don't have a baby, you have a pet.
She is our baby.
Sure. I get it. I just thought my brain immediately went to children because I was like, oh yeah, waking up in the middle of the night multiple times a night. I know, I feel that. I get that. Let the baby out. What does the baby have to do outside? Like I said, I'm just waking up. My coffee isn't working yet. Sorry, Pat. What's up, man? You were talking.
Was I?
Oh, I don't know. You said something. You said hi.
I said something about Luna and phases. That was it. Yeah.
All right.
I don't think I've ever No, I've seen you in your glasses. I was going to say, I don't think I've ever seen you in your glasses.
No, I don't think you ever have.
I've
just been wearing them more lately.
God, you look respectable. It's like +2 to charisma. Welcome back, everyone, to Overqualified Idiots. If this is your first time tuning in, this is a podcast where medicine, pharmacy, law, and engineering come together to share our stories and talk about a given topic. I am Dan Casey, primary care sports medicine, MD, and I am joined by my brother, Patrick.
What's up?
JD.
That's me.
And also, as you've already heard, Bengineer, our friendly neighborhood rocket scientist.
That's right. I don't need some weird letters mostly because there's no professional engineering standard for aerospace engineer.
Satellite daddy.
That seems weird.
Well, there is for civil, a PE, but aerospace just doesn't have one. We're so new. They just don't have
wrong.
One.
Why wouldn't they just add it?
Because it's a lot of work.
No one's done it yet. Like that. But the educational academic institutions are established. The courses exist. It's not It's not like the groundwork isn't laid and the foundation isn't there.
You have to get the testing in place. Like PE for a professional engineer, you do have to do tests. It's the same as like your stuff. You have to do tests and you have to keep them up. I've got a friend she went through aerospace engineering with me, and her dad's a civil engineer, and he always goes, "You're not a real engineer. You don't have a PE."
Yes, I am. I think I got a job. I was talking to Nicole and describing your job to her at one point, and she said something really funny. What was it she said? She described you. I was like, "Oh yeah, he's like a satellite wrangler," and she goes, "Satellite zaddy." Like,
I said satellite zaddy last time.
Oh, is that what it? Oh, okay. Wow, you two had the same thought. That's so weird. Okay. Anyways, satellite zaddy. How you doing, Pat? Small talk, go.
I'm doing well. Alex is going to Spain next spring for an exchange program, which means I'm going to Spain.
Oh, cool.
And then the Willow's doing great. Works fine, I guess. No, I can't complain. All good things, all positives. So,
good.
I played in a chess tournament last weekend and did not do well. So been working on studying for that. It's my hobby, but I can't imagine you would understand not liking to lose ever.
Oh,
so what?
I'm not the most competitive person you've met outside of yourself.
I don't know that you're the most competitive person I know besides me. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which is why it felt so good the one time I was able to beat Dan at an activity.
Oh, what was that? What was
Darts.
it? Oh, that's right.
We were at Sleepy Dog.
You beat me twice in a row, and I was just so frustrated. I was like, I'm the person that people like get annoyed at, because if I'm bad at something, I will relentlessly practice or pursue it until I'm good at it. And so when I lose, I've gotten better. I don't I don't rage anymore.
Dan is very sportsman. He got into primary care sports med because he's into sports and that kind of stuff. I am, as he said earlier, an engineer. I don't do the sports ball.
I don't do the sports ball.
I watch it. I don't do it.
Well, you did rock climbing for years, and we rock climbed together for a good couple of years.
That's true. Haven't done that in a little bit.
I am not built to rock climb, but...
No.
I'm not the skinny, lanky guy you picture, like, scaling up a wall and the person muscling my way through out of spite.
If you know Jujimufu, imagine that, but I guess probably 50% less bulk.
I was gonna say, just like a normal proportioned human, not a bodybuilder climbing a wall. How you doing, Ben? Any news on your end?
Well, news we'll kind of get into.
The segue!
Got my first launch with skin in the game coming up, so...
Very nice, that's awesome. When does that happen?
Well, as of recording, it happens tomorrow.
Oh shit, okay.
Well, it will
have happened by the time this posts.
It is Transporter 10, and I can say that with confidence because there's so many freaking satellites on that.
That you're not spoiling anything?
Yeah, and we're not under NDAs or anything. Also, we're satellite as a service company, so we don't even have our name on it.
Oh, that's wild that you guys don't sign NDAs. I just assumed at the way the tech and specifically space industry is. Even just how you were describing... Oh my god, what is that called? What is it you described last episode we had you on? The organization and all the laws as far as
ITAR?
ITAR. I was like, TAR does not sound right, but it was ITAR.
Yeah.
That there would be more NDAs affiliated with almost everything you do.
It depends. I think just basically by joining the company, I have, the overall NDA, but if we get, somebody involved, one of the people who produces a part for us, I think they have to sign NDAs and that kind of stuff. So,
all right. Well, I don't have any news.
But yeah,
I don't have
also
exciting.
solving fun networking problems on orbit with a networking protocol that was invented in the BBS days.
BBS days? How long ago are we talking about that, and what does that mean?
Web 1.
Okay.
Like the 90s?
Are you speaking in code?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
The 90s. I used, for people listening who know networking stuff, I used Z modem on a satellite. That is, I had to transfer data over a UART port, which basically that's not what it's supposed to do. I've spent 3 months leading up to this,
Are you managing satellites with the equivalent of dial-up internet? Is that what's happening here? Because it's...
Oh no, it's still faster than dial-up internet, but like it was down to like our high speed went out on that item, so we had to figure out another way to get files to it, and so we resulted back to this thing called Z modem, which was invented in the 90s for transferring files.
All right. Well, that sounds wild. It's funny how in space and tech there are still things that are like 20 or 30 years old that people are still using because there's never been any upgrade or change to it, or it just still works, so why change it?
Right. It's Linux, and that's still in the Linux kernel, so use it.
I don't have news. Oh yeah, I do have news. I don't know if I've even said this on the podcast. Nicole's pregnant with our second and due in like 3 months. So that's news. That's big news. But
congratulations.
I'm also
another June baby.
I'm terrified. May. No, the problem is he's due late May, and our first one came like 2 weeks early. So if he comes 2 weeks early, we can have the same goddamn birthday, which I'm not thrilled about. So I'm just like, stay in there, kid. You can cook a little longer. It's fine. You can hang out.
Cook a little longer.
We're not going to kick you out. You can keep. You don't need to pay rent yet. So I wanted to. You talked about that, and I'm just not ready for the newborn phase, man. There's something I thought residency had prepared me for any amount of sleep deprivation and any amount of like being able to function on very little sleep. And the reality is, I will take 5 hours of unbroken sleep any day over 8 to 9 hours with 5 to 6 interruptions. There's no sleeping in that. There's just like closing your eyes.
As somebody with a newish puppy, actually Dan and I were talking about this earlier, I get that. It's not crying, but it's whimpering and barking, and it's just like...
Yeah, those two are definitely the same.
I just want to sleep.
Well, I don't have a monopoly on sleep and being tired as far as being a parent, but I will say residency wasn't even close. But now that we've all shared our news, we can segue. Breaking news! Yeah. I'm just going to digitally add that because I don't think there's anything on the soundboard that's even close to it.
I did it. You're fine.
Yeah. Good. Let me pull up the article. Now, Ben, I'd asked you about this, and you had not heard. Beyond our wildest dreams, 2.34 billion metric tons of rare earth metals discovered in Wyoming that could make U.S. a world leader. I don't like that it says make us a world leader, like we're not already. That makes me sad to hear and see that. But the U.S. could surpass China as the leader in rare earth metals after more than 2.34 billion metric tons were discovered in Wyoming. So this article comes from the Daily Mail, which is fine.
Yeah, I'm looking, and there is more than just the Daily Mail. The Wall Street Journal's got an article about it.
So right now, China is the world leader in rare earth metals, which I believe is a measured 44 million tons. And basically, we import something like, I don't think it's, the number is right here, 74% of our supply. And these are rare earth metals that are used for technology, manufacturing, electronics, magnets, mirrors, all of the above is my understanding. So now that we've discovered this cache of 2.34 billion, I think that's, oh my God, how many
metric tons, not dollars.
How many tons? Yeah. No, I think when they calculated the math, it's something worth a current estimated $44 trillion. Which, I can't wait to get my cut
37 billion.
37 billion.
That's still a lot of friggin' money. Yes.
How did you do that? Where'd you find that?
I literally have been clicking on articles and reading and glancing at them.
Oh, you're not allowed to read. That's cheating. So ultimately, I don't know what this is going to mean in terms of inflation or money or technology. I would like to think that it means that we would not be having to import all of our rare metals and whatnot and would become essentially a trade powerhouse like China has been the last 30 years. I don't know if you had heard anything about this or wanted to add anything. I just thought this was cool because I was like, we're rich. Not us, but, the U.S. could become a powerhouse in terms of trade of rare metals and technology.
I mean, it's still got to be like, we could export it, but it's still got to be like made
Mined.
into mined, which they probably don't have the infrastructure to mine this yet. If it's just got found, the infrastructure needs to be put in place.
American Rare Earths conducted the first drilling in March of 2023. There were 1.2 million metric tons estimated in northeast Wyoming, but now in a second attempt, they've uncovered 64% more. Okay, so this is something that was like, oh, wow, okay, we found 1 metric ton. That's awesome. That's great. And then they find the whole motherload of more of it. Well, this is just cool because ultimately when we talk about all the various different metals, I don't really know what the rates of occurrence of these naturally are. I don't know. I also get nervous when we start talking about an environmental impact and we talk about mining and drilling our own land.
Yeah.
Wyoming is beautiful, and I don't know if it will stay that way.
Yeah, I mean, so then there's other things, like a very fun story is that this is back in the Cold War era. The Blackbird is made out of titanium. I don't know if this is still true. The largest producer at the time was the USSR. So to get the titanium for the Blackbird to spy on the USSR, the CIA created a whole bunch of shell companies and bought titanium from the USSR to make the Blackbird to spy on them.
Oh, shit. Well, that's kind of cool. All right. I didn't know that. Oh, I found a list finally. Okay, so scandium, yttrium, lanthanum, cerium. I'm not going to say that one. Neodymium, promethium.
Magnets.
Okay, all of these are gadolinium. I know that one. Yeah. Okay, so a lot of these are like the ones at the end of the table where they're like letters. Rare earth metals.
No, none of those are the ones at the end of the table where they're like letters.
Oh, then I don't know my table at all. Oh, cool.
No, you took more chemistry than I did.
Hold on. End of the table. Metals are found. Oh my god! I need to look at the goddamn periodic table.
You took more. The ones at the end of the table are the ones that have to be produced by humans.
Helium, neon. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong part of the table. Yep, you're right. Okay, I'm wrong. Okay. Anyways, moving on.
But yeah.
So, I'm sorry. I don't think I've even looked at a periodic table since I was in college. And I was good at chemistry. Fuck. All right, I got no excuse.
I wasn't.
Well, that's what I brought as far as news. We're all rich. We're all going to benefit from all of this. So we're going to be bountifully wealthy once our government mines all of this and puts it to good use without any...
No bad use. None of it will go to bad use.
No bad practices, and obviously fair and even distribution of wealth, right? That'll happen. So, who else has some breaking news to share?
So these lawyers that sued Elon Musk for him receiving an excessive amount of money, like $56 billion in compensation, they sought attorney's fees, and their attorney fee demand, hold your breath, attorney's fees of $6 billion.
Jesus. So they want a percentage. They want a cut of the pie.
Well, I'm sure that the firm here probably had like their whole entire firm working just on that file, and paralegals all billing at exorbitant rates like $1,000 an hour, $500 an hour, or more. I may be underselling it, but to get to $6 billion, you got to charge a lot of money per hour, and you got to charge a lot of hours. So I thought that was an interesting headline in legal.
That is
news.
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
What's can you give us some context, Pat? Like, is there a case that you've spent like $1 million case and you're like, God, we worked so hard on that? I don't know how to contextualize that.
Yeah, same.
Okay, well, I'll give you some context. I've worked on multi-million-dollar divorces in the past. I've never billed in excess of 6 figures to reach a resolution or reach a conclusion.
Oh, wow. So you've basically handled divorces that involve multi-million dollars worth of assets and then build a fraction of that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you build the time that you put into it. You don't bill to get the lawsuit that they sought, they're not looking for like a third of 56 million or 56 billion. That would be a larger number than 6 billion in legal fees. But yeah, they billed the crap out of that one. Like it was something that they worked on a lot, and they're never going to get that demand.
I was going to say,
it's never going to happen. So
this seems like a Dr. Evil moment. $6 billion.
Exactly. That's why I brought it up, because it seems it's exactly that ridiculous amount of money.
So there's no way one firm alone could work that much without just inflating their billing. Are there not laws
absolutely.
or rules associated with how much you can bill, or is it just like, we're a business, we can do what we want?
Well, I mean,
I think it's that little thing called ethics.
There's some ethics that limit the amount of hours you personally can bill during a day. Like, you can't bill more than 24 hours in a day, because that's how many hours are in a day.
That's also not really ethics.
Trust me. No, that's 100% ethics.
That's just laws of natural people. There are 24 hours in a day. You can't work more than 24 hours. They don't exist.
No, man, I worked really hard that 1 hour. I'm gonna bill that as 2 hours.
Well, now you're billing. Now you're billing like a lawyer right there. So there it is. But that's one limitation. I mean, you gotta have reasonable attorney. If you're asking for an attorney fee demand, most jurisdictions are going to have an analysis of reasonableness as far as what you're charging on an hourly basis, and you're going to have to provide affidavits or expert testimony to support it. And it was an insane headline when I read it. So I figured that was breaking news. But
one of those you had to read twice because you're just like, wait, billion? Really?
Mm-hmm.
Billion.
B with a B. I mean, if you told me you build 6 million, I'd still turn my head and say, "Really?
Yeah,
how much did you work?"
That's a lot.
That's
so
6 billion. I mean, that's 1,000-fold. Like,
in many of these cases that are ongoing against the to segue into something else that's particularly ridiculous. Any of these Trump cases that are going on as he still runs for president,
and seemingly can't pay any of the dues.
I don't have any. I really don't have any opinion on this at all. You won't be able to tell based on what I say here. Yeah, the judges and prosecutors and attorneys opposing Trump face unprecedented waves of threats from the public. Yeah.
Yeah.
So these public officials that, I mean, to be honest with you, don't make, significant amounts of money are being threatened with death or serious bodily injury, and it's just the absurdity of where we're at in our culture. The $6 billion fees is just funny. This is just sad.
It's just sad. People doing their job who are just part of a process.
Yeah, because it's so highly politicized, and because Trump's such a polarizing figure, and his close cult-like followers are willing to commit felony offenses on his behalf, which is why I voted for the vulnerable adult for president last election. So Joe Biden.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Well, haven't you seen the memes? Haven't you seen the memes about like the White House nursing home? And then there's another meme going out there that says, Dad, it's that time we have that talk. And, we're thinking about your health and the decline. And we think it's time you run for U.S. Senate. Not we're going to put you in a nursing home.
There was like a 3-month stint there where I sort of got he couldn't stop falling. Senate. But anyways, yeah. So I don't care how you feel about this election as far as your opinions. I'm so sick of our political system being the choice between two evils, or as South Park summed it up so perfectly, a douche and a turd sandwich, because it's always that. It's never anything not that. No,
what does it tell you for the respective parties if these are the two best candidates that they can put forward?
They're not the best candidates.
They're not even close. They're the easiest puppets that they can have, and that's what it comes down to. Is the corporations run the whole show, anyways. So yeah, you guys out. You guys, everybody, just go out and vote. Just do it and vote for somebody that's not Biden or Trump. Dear Lord.
If a third-party candidate ever became a plausible or feasible thing, we would maybe affect real change. But I think we live in a corporate oligarchy more so than a democratic republic. And I think that's been demonstrated time and time again. That's not funny. That's just sad.
No, it is.
So the reality of our political system, I mean, ultimately, swinging back to what you were talking about originally, that's just sad that people doing their job are getting threatened because of the nature of a over-politicized manner. I don't really understand why our country is so focused on politics, because when you look at other countries that have sort of well-established, successful political systems, it's not like that's part of their everyday TV and news. I think our news is saturated with horrible, terrible things that happen, as well as just politics segued right in there. And so I don't really like the media, and I don't particularly like what the media is used as, because it's certainly not a tool for information. We talk about
definitely think they're not helping this because they're in it for the money.
Well, they're in it for ratings.
The way they get the money and the ratings is the bad clickbait headlines. That's one way, but sensationalized
breaking news. Yeah, exactly.
Oh shit! Are we the bad guys?
Shit, are we the baddies? All right, breaking news. I'm going to swing back to a story since we segued back to the media. In its ruling stemming from 2 lawsuits over the destruction of frozen embryos at a mobile hospital, the state Supreme Court says embryos are in fact fertilized. I should clarify, it's not in the article, but it's fertilized embryos are children, no matter if they're within or out of a uterus, and those who destroy them are held liable for wrongful death.
And this is why I'm glad I don't live in Alabama.
Yeah. Alabama, overnight, literally, this decision happened, and overnight, every single fertility clinic in the state shut down. Because if they, whoopsie, drop a petri dish, all of a sudden they are they could be guilty of manslaughter. That's fucking wild.
I mean, there's we always talk about in the law of unintended consequences. Obviously, I understand the intent of the decision and logic
Correct.
behind it, whether you agree with it. But the law of unintended consequences is, well, no more fertility clinics, abortion clinics, anything in Alabama, or peace out.
Women's health, anything?
Yeah, women's health is out of Alabama. So
good luck, women of Alabama.
Why would you want to live in that state if you were a female? Because it goes well beyond, the abortion argument and fetus viability discussion. It has such a huge consequence on women's rights that it should be unconstitutional to affect so broadly that right, and then impose such a burden on healthcare providers that make accidents some type of death or murder or manslaughter, as you stated. Yeah, it's despicable.
It's wild. Yeah, so let's go ahead and clarify and be clear on one thing. This is an attack on basically trying to make abortion illegal and keep it illegal and what have you, and that's what Alabama is doing. Their lawmakers have not given it more than 2 thoughts to what they're doing. The Supreme Court, I don't think, has either. Because, for now, fertility clinics are held liable for wrongful death if an embryo fails. Like that, I'm not reading between the lines here. Let's just say this happened when like a tech dropped a dish and destroyed an embryo. That's terrible. I don't know. You could argue maybe that person should lose their job, but accidents happen and what have you. But to hold someone liable for killing another human, that's wild to me. Because now, overnight, fertility clinics, no one's going to accept that liability. No one's going to say, like, the embryo failed. It didn't implant correctly. You're not pregnant. Well, you killed the embryo. You fucked up somewhere. You're guilty of murder. Like, you can see how this can snowball really, really fast. Yeah, so fertility clinics, women's clinics, everything gone overnight. And now other states, similar to Alabama, are also, you see fertility clinics just, like, shutting their doors. Ben, what were you going to say? I kind of cut you off there.
Oh, and no, you ended up covering it and it doesn't even matter. It could have been not viable to begin with. You were doing it could have been never viable. And okay, so whose fault is that? Well, there's going to be some case that sets the precedence, and I don't like where it's headed in terms of that state choosing probably the correct
person,
the correct choice, entity. Which is shit happens. It's medicine. It's not a surefire thing ever.
Man, I could only imagine if I did a knee injection on somebody with arthritis and didn't help. It didn't help. They got benefit for 2 or 3 days, which happens. That just happens. Yeah. And somebody's like, "You're guilty of malpractice. You said this would help and it didn't." I said it may help, but to be held to that standard is absolutely absurd. there's so much up in the air in terms of medical practice and so much up in the air in terms of, and that's where you extrapolate and where this can like absolutely snowball out of control, is that now all fertility, health, and all clinics are just potentially guilty of wrongful death. That's fucking wild. Oh, that's okay. This country didn't need women's health, right? Women apparently are still not regarded as equals. So, anyways, that just made me sad. I'm sorry. This was supposed to be funny, but this is just awful. People need to know about this. I mean, I'm sure they do. We're not exactly the news here, so we don't exactly have the reach to be informing people of things they should already know about. But
I mean, I didn't know about the Elon Musk thing, the $8 billion.
Yeah, 6 billion, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh my, I was off by a fourth. Oh man, it makes it so much more reasonable that it's only $6 billion. Man, those other 2 billion, those were going to be killer.
I mean, it might hurt Elon Musk. I don't know. It's certainly going to pad the pockets of those lawyers if they actually get any fraction of it. So, any other breaking news you guys have? Let's bring the funny back now that I'm depressed.
I can do one that's not politics or anything.
Hell yeah!
It's moon related.
Oh, we have a moon. What's new? What's new with the moon?
A private company landed a spacecraft on the moon. An American private company called Intuitive Machines landed a spacecraft on the moon. Shit happened. Some weird shit happened. It tipped over.
Oh.
Oops. Oopsie daisy.
But then you hear about all the things that kind of went wrong. And, so for instance, the way they were going to get down, it's going to be fully autonomous. They'd be like, okay, it's going to go, and it would do its thing over like 8 minutes or so, and then be on the moon. They're landing, I don't remember if it was laser, or I think it must have been laser, to figure out how far they were from the surface of the moon. There was a physical switch that they forgot to take out of safe mode because you don't want the lasers shining while you have techs around it working on it. And that physical switch never got toggled to flight mode.
Oh no.
So it launched. They were able to use a NASA payload on board that had a LiDAR that like does laser scans of terrain and such. Usually that's used for making like 3D models. It bounces lasers to and from something. So somewhat of the same technology. They did an extra orbit of the moon before they landed to get that like kind of set up to try to work. It worked, and I'm about to use like a couple of acronyms. I'll explain them. It went from like a TRL-4 to a TRL-9 immediately. That is technology readiness level, where it's like, we have this idea for a technology. We've done this much to prove that it is viable, or what have you. TRL-9 is, it has been used and can basically now be sold at like, it's been proven in space. So it went from like theory and we have a prototype on board to, nope, it got used, we got data, it works.
This is ready for commercial use.
Yeah.
You want to go to the moon, Ben?
but that wasn't connected in with their processing properly, so it didn't actually know how high it was from the moon.
Oh no.
Besides through, basically, it's another way you make corrections in case something goes wrong is you've got, like, you know how your phone can generally know which way it's facing and that kind of stuff?
Sure.
A spacecraft has something similar where it measures, it knows where it was,
sure,
based on usually measurements, and then it will interpolate with equations and such where it should be because it also knows how fast it's going.
Okay, so something with that was slightly off?
No, that was basically, if I'm not mistaken, what they were using. The problem is the more that propagates and does more equations, it's no longer based on a cold hard truth of we know exactly. It's, we know this is where we should have been.
This is where we probably are.
Yeah, now let's see where we're going to be. So it's an error that starts increasing quite a lot, which is why you correct it. But they couldn't correct it. So yeah, it landed but tipped over because to quote several people who I saw, gravity on the moon is 1/6, but inertia is not.
Oh.
So a little bit off, and it's just going to keep going.
Just a little crash landing for it.
Then they were getting communications. Turns out they were getting most of their communications from radio waves that were bouncing off the moon's surface first.
Oh, that's not helpful.
As somebody who deals with that daily at my job, I will never bitch about bad comms again because that's ridiculous.
So instead of getting direct radio waves, they were getting reflected.
Yes, so they had to... There's a right hand and left hand, like, the way things are polarized, and they had to, go to their, dishes and swap all of them in polarity because it had bounced once. It switched the polarity. But they were always getting very, very rough communications. But they did it.
Here's an article from Reuters.
Reuters?
I'm sorry, I can read.
Reuters.
Reuter. In risky space business, Intuitive Machines sets sight on second moon landing. Still Durst said, "We're delighted our country has finally touched the moon again, even though a little bit stumbling, and we're back, and that's significant." Although the experiments were disappointing. I mean... Yeah.
That's we landed a robot on the moon.
Welcome, Pat. That's all he's been talking about for the last 10 minutes. We landed. We didn't land a human, but we landed. Yeah, but device.
Did they take any audio or video recordings with the robot?
I mean, the robot tipped over and fell. So no.
Well, they got pictures back. They're not amazing pictures, but they got pictures back. They had a thing that a bunch of students made that was gonna be really cool, where it was going to, on its way down, eject this camera ball out, and it was going to take pictures of this thing landing. But because they didn't have any, it didn't actually know how high it was. That never happened.
So telemetry was fucked up, or what? How much are we paying these assholes to do these jobs?
This is a private company, so we're not paying.
How much are
they subsidized?
No. There's a NASA program called CLIPS, Commercial Lunar Payload Services, which I'm not going to get into this because this is a whole nother budget thing of. They unfortunately kind of designed it so it's a race to the bottom, where we can do this for $2. Yeah, but can you?
Yeah. So-called government contract with some subsidizing from our pockets, and then this is what you get for it. This is what you get. You get what you pay for, Dan. You get what you pay for.
I mean,
yes, but I'd rather this than have it go towards a $23 million. No, sorry, not million. A $2 billion F-35 that still possibly gives pilots mental problems.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean. Seems like the war machine is still where most of our dollars go, so I can sympathize with the space race, considering how many breakthroughs and technology developments occur from it. I mean, you gotta fuck up once in a while to learn something. So,
and their whole thing with this was, and they kept saying this, shots on goal. They're we know some of these are going to fail. It's just a fact of life. In fact, there was the lander before this, the Japanese landed one called Slim, that was entirely autonomous directing and such. And they're like, we're not really getting good comms with it. It's kind of weird. And they had a rover that they deployed from it and went over and they took a picture of it. And if anybody's ever seen the loading screen from Kerbal Space Program, like the main menu screen where there's like a probe lawn darted into the moon and like a little. So this thing somehow landed gently 180 degrees upside down. Like it was nose down and it landed gently.
Well, that's kind of, how does it land gently? I don't get that. What does that mean?
I don't know. It must have bounced, but it is. Yeah. They've survived at least one lunar night already. So it's not like it's going somewhere.
Well, Pat, did you have any other breaking news to share?
Well, follow up on your one Alabama article. The legislature moved to fix the court's error.
Oh, we got an update. What is the update?
Alabama legislature moves to protect IBF services after state court ruling. they probably called an emergency session and went, we got to figure this out.
We done goofed.
Yeah. Yeah. The legislature isn't the problem. It's the judiciary that's the problem, but the legislature's got to fix it.
Yeah.
By passing a law that says that they're wrong and that ruling is wrong. And
that there's need to be protected bodies in this broad, sweeping claim. Yeah, because life is not black and white, and there are obviously nuances and shades of gray to things. I don't know, man. This is one of those things where I just kind of shake my head and go, God damn it, Bama. I'm not surprised it's you. I'm just disappointed. So, ultimately, well, I don't know if you had any other news stories that you wanted to share. I was half expecting you to bring up the Epstein client list, to be honest.
No, actually, I'm trying to stay away from it because it's just, why didn't we get this when he passed away? Well, they're using it now as a shield over all of the craziness that's going on, or the lack of. I mean, the right now, the 26th Amendment should be triggered because Biden is clearly incompetent to be the president at this point. POTUS, it should go to the vice president. And I don't know if she's competent to do the job, but she's at least cogent. Can put together sentences, even if you don't like what the sentences say. Yeah. That's the only breaking news that I would have, is that our president is not mentally competent to do the job. And it's shown in interviews and statements and answering questions over and over again over the last year. And I mean, he might have been competent when he was elected, but has become incompetent since, and the Democrats are stupid for not having run somebody else. So
the median age of House lawmakers is 58, and the average age of the Senate is 59.
Oh, so, okay, that's less. I thought that was going to be way higher.
It's not as egregious as I actually.
Hold up.
Oh no, I'm wrong. It's 64 is the age of the Senate. Jesus.
And
okay,
what would it have been if Dianne Feinstein was still alive?
Oh God.
They probably took it up two more years, probably 66, 67.
And a reminder that this election is the two oldest candidates on record, breaking the record from 4 years ago.
Correct. When they both ran against each other before. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean, to have, Reagan was the last president that we had that was as old as Biden, and Reagan, over the last 2 years, they questioned if he was.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
because his, I think Alzheimer's was setting in there in the last 2 years of his last term. Whereas here, the last two years of Biden's first term, dementia, Alzheimer's, I don't know what the issue is there, but it's very clear that he can't answer basic questions, softball questions from interviewers. You can go on YouTube and find a number of different interviews or questions, or he's just, nothing he says is coherent or on the topic or has anything to do with it. And it's not just because he's old and tired. It's something obviously more
insidious and egregious.
Well, yeah.
I can't really comment because of the Goldwater rule, because I'm not allowed to give a medical opinion.
No, you can't give a medical opinion, but I can give a personal opinion based on my experience as a professional who's dealt with people who are mentally ill and mentally ill for a number of reasons. And in this circumstance, it's parallels with half dozen of people that I've represented over the years, and mentally ill commitments where they're not competent to make their own choices, or in the alternative in other situations where guardianships and conservatorships are appropriate. So
to give the
comment based on that experience and my own lay opinion. But yeah, you have to be much more careful than I do.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, we've talked about this in a prior episode. The Goldwater rule is from the American Psychiatric Association, where it's an ethical guidance for psychiatrists and just medical doctors, because honestly, family medicine doctors prescribe more psychiatric medications than psychiatrists do.
Right.
That you cannot give a medical opinion or evaluation on somebody you've never formally met and evaluated. It's because of the presidential election that was basically influenced by people saying this one eccentric candidate was not mentally well enough to lead the country.
Barry Goldwater, right?
Yep. So I cannot give an opinion. I have an opinion. I'm not going to give it. Sorry.
I mean, I'll give my engineer opinion. I'll take the alien Alzheimer's one surrounded by good people or better people over the fascist. 10 times out of 10.
Well, yeah, I think that's
those are our two choices.
I think that's solid analysis because
he can lean on like so.
We're talking about Caesar. You're talking about Caesar. He wanted to not give up the office when there was an election held, and he wants to rule the country, not run it.
Right.
So that should make it a clear choice. But obviously, there's.
Is there really no one in the Democratic Party? There's no one else? We got nothing?
There is, but he's not ready yet.
Oh, who are we talking about? Come on.
Mayor Pete. Well, Pete Buttigieg. He is currently, this is the guy who was the former mayor of South Bend, Indiana. Openly gay man in a state that was being run by Mike Pence. Mm-hmm. And people loved him. And he is now the Secretary of Transportation, and that's a sector that my girlfriend works in, and her comment is everybody who she's ever met who's like worked with him and talked to him, nobody has anything bad to say about him.
All right.
This is also a guy who will very level-headedly go on like Fox News and just sit there, take whatever shit they throw at him and just be like, but here's what's actually happening. Mm-hmm. So, like, yes, but the reason he wasn't ready 4 years ago was because he had never held a big office. He was only ever a mayor. And going from mayor to president's kind of quick.
Yeah.
But now he's a freaking Secretary of Transportation. And I think in 4 more years, maybe 8 more years, I absolutely think he will be a leading candidate on the ballot.
The short answer is the Democrats have other people that they could have put up that aren't, that are moderate, that are electable, and they
chose not to.
They chose not to, and it's unclear why. It's like if Democrats are so damn smart, why do they lose so often?
Right.
That's the strange thing to me, and if Republicans got it figured out, then why did they spend like Democrats? So.
Well, I was going to say, isn't it the Republicans are the party of no new ideas and the Democrats are the party of bad ideas? Isn't that traditionally kind of the?
I have no idea. I'm gonna plead ignorance on that because we don't have enough time to unpack that comment.
That's a big question.
This turned into a very weird episode.
Well, I think when you talk about the news, it just inevitably becomes depressing.
I mean, like 90% of the headlines are about Trump either being sued or prosecuted. So,
or owing money that he apparently doesn't have. Weird, funny that.
Yeah.
He's only incurring how much interest per day?
He can't manage his own finances, but we're going to put him in charge of the country. Biden probably can't make it to the bathroom, but he's in charge of the country. So I don't know what to tell you. It's just absurd. It's absolutely absurd.
We need age. If we have a lower age limit, why isn't there an upper age limit?
Yeah, no
I mean, we need a lot of things. Term restrictions on
the minute a millennial gets into high office, I think things like that will happen.
I mean, term limits on Congress and Senate should have been done decades ago, but they haven't. Uh-huh. And that's why the average age of, the Senate is 64. It's just wild to me that the age of, like, when we consider somebody ready for retirement or basically that they're no longer competent to do most work is the average age of our leaders. And no one has a problem with this.
Our representational leaders, they're ones who are supposed to represent their voters.
They've done such a good job.
Talk about a disconnect.
I'm going to throw out a little story I found just because it speaks to a couple of things. Breaking news! Runaway train in India travels more than 40 miles without a driver.
40 miles?
The train rolled for 1.5 hours from Kathua railway station before stopping in Hoshiarpur district in Punjab state. How?
Uh-oh.
I don't understand.
Did I lose
A
connection?
runaway train carrying 1,000 passengers rolled several miles before coming to an emergency stop. I mean, fantastic. It didn't, tip over or derail and kill 1,000 people, but I don't know, like, how. Anyways, sorry. I was browsing through news stories, and that one caught my eye. Anyways, so I'm going to cut this episode short because the news is depressing, and I think we get enough of that from our actual news sources. But these are the stories that have caught our eyes, stories that are happening that people should know a fair amount about. I'm interested to see what comes of the rare earth metals in terms of like American trade and technology and economy. I'm very interested to see what the hell Alabama is going to do to fix their fuck up, because holy shit. But yeah, do you guys have anything to add before we close?
I don't think so. Cat just walked up next to me, and I was really hoping right after you said that, you just hear meow into the microphone.
Well said, Cat. And with that,
just end it hard there. Meow.
Episode ends. All right. Well, thank you guys for being here. The news is depressing, so we'll never do this ever again. Thank you, listeners, for joining us.
Well,
we should do it again. We should do it again and do only uplifting.
Uplifting news.
I brought the only uplifting progress news to this. Everything else was like, I hate civilization. Let's just all walk into the volcano and start over.
They're pushing into the sea. We need to start over. Pat even tried to say, and this is how we spend our tax dollars, landing on the moon again.
Yeah,
no, Pat,
I know.
We landed on the moon upside down. I want to clarify.
Nope, the Japanese did. We landed on the sideways.
Oh, yeah, okay. We landed sideways and tipped over.
Yeah, because we've got the telemetry all figured out. Yeah, okay.
Ben, that's your job, isn't it? Aren't you the satellite?
I literally explained what happened. And no, the telemetry wasn't there. That's why it happened.
Where were you, Ben? That was your job.
No, meanwhile, I'm using 90s freaking networking procedures. I told a friend who's a network engineer about that, and he went, "Ow, my brain."
You're using dial-up.
I think you've identified the reason that we're failing is we don't replace the existing technology that we've got for better stuff.
Well, I mean that's what they're working on. You can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs.
Do you guys hear the video I'm playing or no?
No.
Oh, damn, my headphones are too good. Okay. I was playing the dial-up internet sound just to have another nostalgia moment, just so I'd be like, and this is Ben's work noise. Just the ambiance of his job. All right. Thank you, listeners, for tuning in. Thank you guys for being here. Follow us on all social media. Subscribe to the podcast on whatever podcast platform you listen to. Listen, download the episodes, show support. Tune in next week for another episode. And until then, take care.